you feeling? Okay, maybe a tiny little bit more perky now that you've gotten dressed and freshened up a little bit. Yeah, that's always, even though sometimes it kind of takes a lot of effort when we're feeling crummy to even just, splash some water on your face and, put on a fresh, cozy outfit like you have on. Sometimes that can really make the difference in helping you feel better. Yeah, well, while you were doing that, I spread out some fun goodies for us and took the liberty of putting the kettle on in the kitchen and brewing us some tea. So I just wanted to spend a little time with you and, hopefully continue to brighten up your day. Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah, when I got your text, I could just tell that maybe, things were a little rough for you today, and I get it. There's a lot going on in the world, and I know you have a lot going on, and we're in this changing season of spring where there's a lot of push and pull and a lot of different energies. So sometimes I think that you just deserve a little bit of special attention and someone to come and take care of you and do some special things for you. So that's what I want to do today. Okay, does that sound good? Okay, you're cozy now? Yeah, okay, well, let's get nice and cozy here. And first things first, like I said, I did go down and get the kettle going. So I have a little pot of tea for you here that should be just about steeped. So while I'm continuing to let it steep, I will tell you what it is. It is one of my own tea blends. Yeah, these are herbs that I grew. And yeah, they're ones from last summer that I grew. These all I think I grew on my patio, on my porch in pots. And I harvested them and tied them in bundles and hung them on my mantle and from some rafters in my kitchen and dried them and then crumbled them up and made them into tea blends. And I, label them, not in a very fancy way. But as you can see, this one is catnip, tulsi, and lemon balm. So that's tulsi basil, which is also called holy basil. And these are 3 herbs that are super good for soothing the nervous system. Yeah, they're all categorized as nervines, which means that they help to kind of slow things down. They help with anxiety and stress. And they're just all really delicious and tasty. So, yeah, so I just brought this jar. Yeah, take a little sniff of that. Yeah, you can smell the lemon balm. And yeah, it's one of those weird things that catnip makes cats, get kind of hyper and worked up, but it's relaxing for humans. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that would make sense, but it's one of those magical things about the plant world, that is indeed the case. So I brought this, so I have it steeping for you, so you can have some of it now, and then I'll leave this jar with you, so that if you want to keep enjoying it, if you like it, I hope you will. I think you will. It's really tasty, and it does have a nice soothing effect, and just the ritual of drinking it and everything is really nice. It's really nice. So this is the first little treat that I will leave you with. I actually brought you some other teas as well. I'll show you those in a little bit because I wanted you to have a variety to enjoy over the next few days. But I think this is ready now. So let's get this cup of tea for you. And I brought this mug. Yes, I brought my own custom mugs because I wanted you to have something extra special and something different from what you usually have, I brought you my favorite kitty, 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 kitty mug. Isn't this cute? It's got the little eyes and ears and nose and whiskers and mouth. Now, Justin and I both always say this mug is a little strange because the kitty's tail is coming out of the side of its head, so that's a little strange, but it's still really cute. Yeah, this is from Serve. Yeah, they sell all sorts of fair trade goods. Yeah, it's like a fair trade gift catalog. Justin and I we've bought things from Serve since we were kids. Our families both always were connected with that. So, yeah, it's a really cool resource for gifts that are, sustainable and a little more special. So I'm going to pour you some tea into the kitty mug, and you can keep this kitty mug for a while. It can just be your special little reminder that I am thinking of you. The handle on it is a little bit small, but you can just, get cozy and drink your tea. So I have your tea in this little blue teapot that I have. Yep, it's nice and warm. I love this little teapot. Had it for a long time. Yeah, it just has this little flip up so that you can put the herbs down in there. There's a little herb basket inside that holds the dried tea. And so I will just pour this for you. Yeah. Look at me. I did that so well. I didn't even spill. I'm shocked. Okay, so I have this tea for you. Just put that right there whenever you feel like you want some of it. And I think I already poured some for me. I made myself a little bit earlier. This is actually the second little batch of that I've brewed here in my strawberry mug that I brought. Isn't that fun? Yeah, and I think I'll just top mine off with the rest from your pot here. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so now we both have nice full cups of tea. Yeah, cheers. Cheers to you. Really, 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 really nice blend. Okay, cool. Well, like I said when I texted you back, I thought that I might bring some of my tarot and oracle cards, and maybe we could do a little bit of just, fun time with those. You know how I am about that kind of stuff with divination. I mean, I don't think I'm really going to tell your future or anything like that, but I just love using oracle cards and tarot cards. I've just gotten a little more into. I'm getting to know the meanings more. I love using them just as cues, to think about what we're feeling, to pose different questions. I just think they're a really good jumping off point for looking at situations in a new way, and I really use them for storytelling, like for writing prompts. So I did bring a few different decks with me. You know what, I think before we get into that, I was going to show you, but I'll keep them as a little more of a surprise. I did think that since you've been feeling a little crummy, a little crudgy, that it might be good if we took a little time to kind of cleanse the space, Yeah, I just thought to kind of cleanse the space, here at your place, and, kind of move the energy around a little bit. I'm really into the idea of that kind of stuff. I think it can make a big difference. I can really feel heavy energy sometimes when it builds up, and dispelling that, I think, can be really helpful. So I brought something else from my herb garden. Yeah, this is kind of wild. This is a smudge stick. Yeah, this is sage. This is sage that I grew in my garden last year. And yeah, sometimes when you buy smudge sticks, you know, there'll be white sage. That's like the traditional ceremonial kind, but you actually have to be careful with that because sometimes that's not, it needs to be really sustainably grown, and white sage is kind of one of the endangered plants, or a plant that has been over harvested in a lot of places. So I just use my good old garden sage that I grow and I've had growing in my yard for a long time. So yeah, don't want to, you can kind of see the crinkliness of it. I don't want to crinkle it too much here, but I don't want it to fall down. Yeah, I do have a little tray here for it. But so I just thought that you and I could set a little intention here to clear the space, clear any energies that we no longer want with us, clear any heaviness, anything that's weighing you down, and make some space to bring in some openness and some hope and some new possibilities. So yeah, so I'm going to light this. I brought my green lighter. Going to light this, and this is kind of a big smudge stick, so hopefully it won't make too much of a big flame, but we'll try to keep it under control. I will light this. Yeah. Do that one more time. I'll light this, and then yeah, get it going like this, and then I'm just going to kind of move it around the room. I'll kind of put it around you a little bit here. We'll let the smoke do its cleansing work, breaking up any negativity or just anything old. That's what I usually think about sage doing, is just breaking up and removing anything old that's in the space that we don't need anymore, that we want to dispel respectfully and remove. Yeah. And I just love, the smoke just looks really pretty, and it obviously smells really nice, and it's not super heavy, It's not like a super perfumey incense or anything like that. It's just nice and light. You can hear the birds singing outside, yeah. Yeah, we'll be getting out there soon and lighting new plants. Planting new seeds and letting them come to the light. That's what we'll be doing. Okay. So I'm just going to put this, I'll give it one more little wave here, and I'll put it down to the side so that can just continue to waft around us until it goes out there. Yeah, isn't that nice? I just feel like it sets the stage. And I also brought this selenite. This is a selenite wand, and selenite is really great also for clearing energies. And it was so cute. My little niece was over here a few days ago, and Justin let her hold this. She saw it and she was like, "Ooh, can I hold that?" That's her big question now, is, can I touch that? Can I hold that? With everything, like, what is that? Can I touch it? She's very respectful. She always asks. But Justin gave this to her and said she could hold it and play with it. And she said it was her magic wand. So she was going all around the house using it as a magic wand. So I'm going to use it, if that's okay. Yeah, you're so sweet for being into all this stuff with me. But, I think the intention really makes the difference. It's not that any of these things, are particularly just that the object itself is some kind of I don't know. I really think the power of it comes from the intention that you put behind it, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So you could just be like, oh, I've got a crystal, whatever. And I don't know how much that would actually do for you. I mean, they do have intrinsically healing properties because of coming from the earth. I do think that. But I think that it's the intention that we put behind it. So yeah, you can close your eyes if you want to. I'm just going to kind of brush your energy a little bit. Yeah, does that feel good? Okay, good. Just going going to brush, 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 and just use this to kind of comb away, kind of tease out anything that you want to let go of right now. So if there is anything that's particularly troubling you that you want to kind of let come out to the surface a little bit, just maybe take a couple deep breaths and release that worry and that tension and that stress, and then I'll just wipe it away from you. And the selenite is just like, it's a beautiful, beautiful cleansing. It's like an eraser. It can just absorb that negativity and take it right away. I always say, it's fine to feel what you feel. We don't need to try to eradicate tough emotions or not feel them. We need to feel the full scope of our emotions, that's for sure. It's part of being human. But we can feel them for a time and then let them move through us and release them and make space for something new. So that's what I've been hoping that we could do for you. Okay, a little last magic wand here. Ready? Okay, so that is the selenite. Okay, how do you feel? Do you feel a little lighter? Hopefully at least a little tended to, if nothing else. Yeah, that's what I really wanted to do today, was just tend to you and bring some special energies into our space that are just for you, because you are important and you deserve that attention. You deserve for care and special, thoughtful things to be done for you. You deserve things that take effort. Things that take effort and thought to be done for you. Things that are rituals. I've been very into the idea of ritual lately and bringing rituals into our everyday lives and how powerful that can be. So this is just a little ritual I wanted to do for you. A little ritual of reminding you that you're really special. You mean a lot to me. Yeah. Hey, no. Don't let those mean voices start to creep in and say, oh, you don't deserve that, or that's not true. It is true. You are wonderful, and I'm happy to be here and taking care of you and doing some nice, special, fun things for you. Okay, all right, put the crystal down. So we did the sage, we did the crystal for a whole little ritual here. I'm going to have another sip of tea. Yeah, you should as well if you'd like. Okay. Well, also in the realm of crystals, I brought, like I said, the selenite, and then I also brought you one of my favorite crystals. It's this heart-shaped agate stone that I have, and I wanted to leave this one with you, so that you can use it as kind of like a comfort object. I think it's a really nice one to hold in your hand and kind of use as a worry stone. And just the weight of it is really comforting. And for me, that's one of the things that really helps me with calming my nervous system is tactile things. I love to do the havening down my arms, and I love to have something to hold on to, and that can bring me back to the present. Like, okay, what are the sensations that I'm feeling when I'm touching this? I feel the coolness, I feel the smoothness, I feel the shape. And I love this agate because when I saw it in the shop, where I first saw it, when I first noticed it, I was like, ooh, that one's, kind of got some blemishes or something, it's kind of, odd looking. All the other ones were very smooth and perfect and polished. And then I decided to come back to this one, and this is the one I ended up getting because I liked that it was imperfect and that it had these extra little textures and extra unique things that, you know, might be interesting to explore and might make this a little more different and unique than the others. So yeah, so if you want to hold that, yeah, you can try it out. And sometimes I put it under my pillow or put it next to my bed, just as a little reminder that my energy is here with you. Yeah, when I meditated this morning, actually, I held that and I tried to infuse some of my love and energy into it so that I could pass it on to you. Yeah, cool. Okay, so would you want to do a little bit of card pulling and just see what we come up with? Okay, well, let's do the Oracle decks first because I'm a little more familiar with those. I was thinking we could just pull a card from each deck, and then, like I said, I'm just getting more into tarot, and I have a really cool tarot deck that I will show you that kind of helps you with the meanings, and so you can just kind of help me practice. Yeah, so no big promises about, you know, any big revelations, but I just think it's fun. And it's a fun way to get your mind onto something else. So this first one that I have, yeah, we've used this one before. This is the Green Witch Oracle. And it says, discover real secrets of botanical magic. And the reason I like this deck is because the cards are really beautiful and they're all plants. And I usually don't even use the guidebook for this one. It does have a little guidebook that gives you a little more information, but I just like to kind of go with my own interpretation. And each card has a keyword on it to go with each plant, and I just usually like to kind of just go with that and interpret it from what I know of that plant. There are herbs and fruits and vegetables and flowers in this deck. So I just thought I would shuffle it. Yeah, actually, do you wanna help me shuffle them a little bit? Yeah, just move them around. Yeah. Good. Okay, and then now I thought I'd just shuffle and we could just draw. You know, we'll see. 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll see how it feels for us. So I'm just going to shuffle and you tell me, ooh, that one wanna fall. Sometimes I get a little out of control. You tell me when you want me to stop, okay? Oh, okay, this one's good. Oh, this is so lovely. Okay, we drew the chrysanthemum of longevity. The chrysanthemum of longevity. And the number 39 is on this card, in case that might be significant to you at all. There's also a sun and a feather and kind of a watch face on it. So that's nice to think about longevity. And what this really brings up for me right now, kind of in, I don't know, the context of the season that we're in and the context of a lot of the things that I know you have going on and I have going on, is this makes me think of like playing the long game of life, you know, looking at things from a place of longevity. And instead of getting so super focused on the immediate and thinking like, okay, I have to make everything right now. I'm frustrated because things aren't moving fast enough. I need to fix this problem immediately. That kind of thinking, which I know I can get into. Yeah, I know. And so this just to me seems like a reminder to step back and look at the bigger timeline and look at all the things that have happened over the long term, you know, of your life and how much progress you've really made. And I think that's really true for you, that you've made a lot of progress in your healing journey and you've dealt with a lot of tough things. And, you know, in this moment, you might feel like, oh, you know, I'm still struggling with a lot of the same things. But if you look back over time at sort of the longer range picture, you can see how much how much progress you've made, how much progress you've really made on your projects. I think that's true. Since that word came to me, I'll stick with it, you know, to look at the projects that you've worked on that maybe you feel like you haven't completed in the way that you would like to, but over the long game, you've probably accomplished more than you think you have, and that you have plenty of time to keep working on them in the future. And this particular chrysanthemum has a beautiful yellow center, so I kind of like that. It's making me think about being centered and your core, which is where your creative energy and your solar plexus energy comes from. So I really like that. I really like that. I like the chrysanthemum of longevity. Okay, maybe one more? Okay, one more. I'll do one more from this deck. All right, I'll see this time what I'm feeling when what wants to come out. I mean, these cards are really nice. They just really shuffle nicely, and they just always something just wants to come out. Oh, this is an exciting one. This time we got the Beetroot of Passion. And I love this card. I love this card because I love beets. I know, you know I love beets. And I feel like sometimes beets, beets might not be considered the most passionate of vegetables. People might consider beets to be kind of stodgy. And so I love that they are associated with passion here because, of course, if you cut into a beet, you know, that beautiful blood red color, like that color of passion and, that deep color of the heart. And it's very potent and, stains your fingers. So let's see. Oh, there's also kind of an oil lamp on this card. And the number 7, and of course this is a root. This is focused on the root chakra because it is a root vegetable. But I'll let you look at that. And I just think this is a great sign to, really connect to your passions. What is making you feel passionate these days? What activities are really making you feel good, and pouring yourself more into those activities and allowing yourself the space to pursue your passions, but to do so in a rooted way. I love the beat for that this isn't about, burning yourself out or going to extremes in trying to be productive or trying to do everything at once again. Instead, you can have this rooted, grounded passion as you move down the path steadily with longevity in mind and accomplish and create the things that are flowing and naturally wanting to come from you. I think this is a great combo. The chrysanthemum of longevity and the beetroot of passion. Yeah, aren't those cool? Yeah, so I think that's a nice little reading for us about how to think about the future in some ways. So see, I said I wasn't going to be giving you any kind of like predictions or anything, but I think that's a good thing to focus on. And again, that's what I love about doing this. It just gives you things to focus on. Okay, we'll close up the Green Witch one for now. Yeah, I love this box. It's such a nice box. You know me, I'm such a nerd for sounds. I have to stop and, give you this little ASMR moment. I know you're such a good sport about that kind of stuff, but yeah, this is a really fun one. Okay, so the next oracle cards that I brought are in this pouch, in this black pouch, and this is the Ritual Deck, is actually what this is called. It's the Ritual Deck by Cassie Yule. She used to have a website called, what was her website called? Zend Out. And now her website is just her name, Cassie Yule. Yeah, Cassieuhl. And she's just a really cool writer. I've learned a lot from her about like the moon cycles and different rituals that you can do in connection with your cycle and things like that. And I just really like her writing. So when she came out with this deck, because I'd been reading her blog for years, I thought, I would like to support her. This is a few years old now. But this deck just has all kinds of different cool stuff in it, like Palo Santo, so it has plants and herbs. It has the elements in it, like here's the fire element. It has runes in it that have different meanings. It has crystals in it, like there's all kinds of different stuff in it, all different things that you could use. There's candles, there's sacred geometry, there's all kinds of stuff that you could use in the context of ritual. And I just think it's a cool deck because it's got a lot of versatility to it, and you can pull a lot of different things from it. So let's maybe see, if there's anything in particular you want to think about. Think about like an area in your life that you would want to bring more ritual to, and we can see. Maybe we'll just do one from this one. I always leave myself open to how many I want to do. Yeah, do you want to just, I'll hold them out to you. And why don't you just pick one, okay? And give me the one that you want to, this one? Ooh, okay. This is a cool one. This is one of the moon phases. So you got the full moon. Isn't that a beautiful card? I love this card. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. And the keywords on this are harvest, expansion, and gratitude. Yeah, I always think of the full moon as like completion, and things coming to fruition and that sort of thing. So that's cool to think about, that maybe there are some things that are coming to fruition for Let me see. I will read us what's in the book for this one. Let me see. Where are the moon phases? Where are the moon phases? Here we go. There are the moon phases. This book just has a lot of interesting. Okay, it says full moon, harvest, expansion, gratitude. I am grateful for all that has come and is still coming to me. That's the mantra that it suggests. That's a nice one. I am grateful for all that has come and is still coming to me. And the message is, open your heart and find gratitude for anything in your life that brings you peace and joy. The full moon is a time of celebration and fulfillment. Focus on the good in your life and soak it all in. If you've been working through the previous moon phase rituals in order to manifest something and it has come to fruition, celebrate. If you're not where you thought you'd be at this point, find gratitude for the gifts you do have in your life and trust that the timing of the universe is always in your favor. And then it suggests a ritual, which is to write a gratitude list that includes everything you've accomplished over the last 2 weeks, big or small. If you are struggling to tap into gratitude, spend a few moments focusing on your heart chakra. Imagine your heart chakra in the center of your chest, radiating green and growing larger with every inhalation. Read each item aloud on your gratitude list, saying, I am grateful for, fill in the blank. If you're practicing this ritual during the full moon, let the moon's special relationship with water help you expand your gratitude by placing your list in a bowl of water under the light of the full moon. Oh, that's a cool idea. That's a really cool idea. Well, I think that writing a gratitude list is always a good idea, and tapping into that energy of the heart can be really powerful. And I kind of love, I already put those other 2 cards away. I should have kept them all out so that we could have shown them all, but that's okay. Yeah, we can look through the deck more later. But I love that this harvest and expansion and gratitude kind of fits in with this, moving towards your passions and looking towards the long game of your path. I feel like that all fits together pretty nicely. So I think that's a nice card for you. The full moon of harvest, expansion, and gratitude. Okay, cool. Maybe I will just keep that one to the side there. And then the other oracle deck that I brought, this one is kind of a hoot. This is the first deck that I ever used because when I first got interested in oracle decks, I didn't have one. And so instead of immediately going out and buying one, I made myself one. I just made some little cards. I just took these little cards. I think they were just index cards that I cut, and I wrote things on them. And some of them are like the elements. I wrote like earth. Some of them are Mr. Rogers things, because I have these Mr. Rogers stickers. So I have like, this is X the Owl, and I think of this as a card about like learning and the search for knowledge and that sort of thing, because that's what X is all about. And a bunch of different things like that. And then one year for Christmas, after I had done that, Justin made me some extra cards, some expansion cards with his artwork on them. So that's solar for the solar plexus. This is sacral. These are all ones that Justin did with his art, like the root chakra. And so anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. And this is one that is very, very personal to me. Very, very personal to me. So I thought it would be cool to draw a few cards for you from this one. Okay, yeah. Do you want to kind of shuffle it up for me? Yeah, shuffle it up for me there. Yeah. You can shuffle for a little bit. Yeah. Okay, good, great. Okay, so let me see. Maybe I'll do these. I'll pull 3, and then we'll look at them together. Okay, so the first one is, oh, actually there's 2 here. Okay, these came out together. Earth and calm, confident, cheerful. So that definitely tells you to be grounded and to feel calm, confident, and cheerful in your life. So I think that's a great combination of things. The earth element of stability and being taken care of and being held, which is what I'm hoping you're feeling right now today. And so yeah, I think that's a cool combo. Okay, so earth energy, calm, confident, and cheerful. Oh my goodness, this is funny. Maybe we didn't actually shuffle that well. You drew X the Owl. And do you remember Mr. Rogers? Yeah, do you remember like the details of those characters? Well, I love that I had these characters. There's a Lady Elaine in the deck too, and her I kind of associate with like chaotic energy and like irreverence and that kind of stuff. And X I associate, like I said, with the quest for knowledge, with learning, because X the Owl was always in owl correspondence school and learning about new things and always kind of bringing a thoughtfulness to things. So I think this could represent you wanting to learn about something new. So maybe choosing something that you're interested in that you would like to learn more about. So I like that. And then the last one, oh, I love this one. See, some of these I just put little sayings on that meant a lot to me at the time. This one says, "You can't see the label of the jar you're in." And this is something that a woman that I was taking a course with at one point said. It was a course about like finding your best career path. And this was something she said that I thought was so brilliant, that it's hard for us to see the things about ourselves that other people see. You know, like you're there in your jar and your jar has a label on it that says creative, insightful, thoughtful, valuable, unique, you know, but you can't necessarily see what other people see when they look at you. So I've always liked that little idea. You can't see the label of the jar you're in. So I think that all of these together kind of represent for you some expansion, you know, finding some new things that you want to learn about or explore, expanding the way you see yourself, and knowing that you might be more, that there's more to you than maybe you've given yourself credit for, and feeling that calm, confident, cheerful energy, but in a very grounded and earth-centered way. So there you go. There are your cards from my personal little deck, my Okay, so how are you feeling now, friend? How are you feeling? You doing okay with the tea? Do you want a little top off? I think there's a tiny little bit left in here, yeah. Yeah, let me just give you that. And, oh yeah, let me show you. You know what? I think I'll show you the other 2 teas I brought you, and then we'll do the tarot. And, then at that point, maybe you might want to take a little nap or take a little rest because, I want you to make sure that you are really taking it easy today because you deserve that. So, okay, yeah, let's take another little tea break. Okay, so the other 2 teas I brought you, in addition to my homemade one, yeah, I just went rummaging through my tea cupboard. These are both open. They're 2 of my favorites, so I just thought I would share them with you. This one is one I bought at the Ren Fair from a place called Steepy Hollow Teas, like Sleepy Hollow, but Steepy Hollow, very cute. And this is called Hazy Morning. And I love this one because it's decaf black tea. And so I don't drink a lot of black tea anymore because I can't really take the caffeine, but I love a cup of milky black tea. I really miss that milky black tea. It's just a certain flavor that I love. So I do drink decaf black tea sometimes, and this one is just so amazing. It has decaf Ceylon tea, so decaf black tea, cinnamon, cacao nibs, orange, hazelnut, marigold, and cinnamon. And oh my gosh, it is so good. It is so good. Steeped up with a little bit of milk in it. Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. So yeah, I just thought I would, do you want to smell it? Yeah, both of these are ones that even if you're not drinking it at that moment, just taking a second to open the package and smell it is incredible. Yeah, can you see? Can you see in there how gorgeous that is? Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah, just take a nice sniff. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, so yummy, so yummy. So, I'll leave this one with you so you can enjoy some of it in the coming days if you would like. It's really nice for a first thing in the morning tea. And then this one, oh my gosh, it's so good. This is from Sips of Whimsy from my friend Sarah's tea company. Yeah, remember I was telling you about that? She blends her own teas. They're really amazing. And this one I just tried for the first time the other day. It's called Lemonade Daydream, and it's incredible. I actually made it as iced tea. I steeped it and then I drank it cool because it was on a warmer day, but I think it would also be amazing warm. It says it's an herbal fruit tea, so it doesn't have any caffeine. A zesty dance of ginger, pineapple, and lemon. A bright, sparkling sip of sunshine. And it is so vibrant. It has such a vibrant... Let's see if I can open it. Oh, it smells so lemony and so good. I mean, look at it. Can you see? It's basically like dried fruit. Like a lot of it is dried fruit. There's dried pineapple in there and dried lemon. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to pour like a tiny little bit of it out into my hand. So you can, it's just like these cool little like pieces of dried fruit. And it's delicious. Yeah, it's very zingy. It's very lemony. And like I said, it was really good as iced tea. I also think it would be good as a warm tea, like if you were feeling like you had a sore throat or something like that, because it is quite gingery too. Like if you wanted to have something warming for your throat, like if you put a little bit of honey in it, I think that would be really good. Yeah, so I think it's a good tea because it's kind of like summery and wintry at the same time. And you know how we have those kinds of days this time of year. So yeah, so your Lemonade Daydream and your Hazy Morning And then also the homemade, homegrown catnip Tulsi lemon balm. I should come up with a cute name for this. You know, it could be like stress soother, or, you know, nervine blend or something like that. So you can enjoy that. Okay, so are you up for doing a little bit of tarot? Yeah, okay, so I only have one tarot deck. You know how there's kind of that thing that you're supposed to be given your first tarot deck, which I don't really think is a thing. I think, you know, a tarot deck will appear to you that you can either buy or will somehow come to you if you're ready to have one. I did have a tarot deck that someone gave to me, that Justin's cousin who reads tarot gave to me, and Justin and I actually ended up passing that deck on to someone else because the artwork on that was a little bit complex. It wasn't as clear as just the standard regular deck, and since I'm just learning, I thought having a more traditional deck would be helpful to me, and someone that we knew, a friend of ours, was really into the art on that other deck, so we passed it on to them. And then I found this one for myself from an Etsy shop. So I've been keeping it in this pouch that my Aunt Marianne made for me, actually. And so that is an extra special place to keep it because she was a really important, person in my life. Yeah, I know I've told you about her. And it's actually, the anniversary of her passing is in March. And so I've been thinking about her a lot. And so this is just a nice way to honor her. So I will open this up and we'll take out the deck. And like I said, you'll see when I show you the cards, what's neat about this deck, it's called the Apprentice Tarot Deck, and the general meanings, like some keywords for each card, are written right on the card. And then it also gives you information about like which suit it is, if it's wands or pentacles. It reminds you of some of the symbolisms of that and of the particular number or court card that it is. So it tells you, you know, what twos mean, what pages mean, and give you some extra info. So it's been really helpful for me as I'm learning. And I like to use the keywords that are given, and then I also really just like to look at the pictures. I recently read this book called Kitchen Table Tarot, which was a great read. I'll have to, I think I might actually purchase that book, so if I do, I'll bring it over and show it to you sometime. I had gotten it from the library, so I don't have it anymore. But she talked about, you know, really just looking at the cards and coming up with your own interpretation of the artwork and what's going on in the traditional deck. You know, the traditional Rider-Waite Smith deck. Got to keep the Smith in there since she was the illustrator and is so important to this story, Pamela Coleman Smith. But anyway, I've just been doing kind of practice spreads where Justin or I will ask a question or think of something and we'll draw a few cards and I'll kind of, you know, try to walk through the story. In that book, she also talked about, okay, one fell out, so I'm going to take it. She also talked about, in that book, just putting down 3 cards and letting them tell a story, and you kind of telling the story that you see, and I liked that too. So, okay, I thought for you, maybe we could do a little 3-card spread about kind of like where you are now, where you want to be headed, what you're aspiring to, and what you need to do to get there. Does that sound good? Yeah. And like I said, I am not an expert at doing this at all. I'm really just beginning. So I really appreciate you letting me practice with you. And, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to be a fortune teller or anything like that or tell you anything that's going to happen. I think it's just nice to have some insights. So first of all, I'm going to look at this card that just fell out of the deck. You know what? Well, you can tell me, does this fit for what you're feeling right now? This is the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords. And the key words on this deck are self-limited thought and speech, self-restricted, insecure, isolated, victim mentality. And you can see that on this card, this person is bound and they're blindfolded, so they're not seeing what's happening. And swords represent mental activity. It says mental activity, thoughts, ideas, belief, and communications. So this figure definitely is feeling very restricted in their thoughts. So maybe they're caught up in negative thinking. Maybe they're not seeing the possibilities for where they could go. What is the other? 8 represents understanding boundaries so you may advance beyond them. So this 8 of Swords can also be about boundaries, and what kind of boundaries might you need to set to help with reducing negative thinking and to help expand your beliefs. So it does kind of sound like this is how you've been feeling lately, with feeling down lately and feeling kind of restricted. And I know you said your inner critic is getting to you, and I was helping you out with that the other day. So okay, so maybe we'll just take this as the first card then, as to kind of where you are right now, that you're kind of in an 8 of Swords place. You're feeling a little bit bound up by things and looking for a little bit of freedom. Okay, well, let's see what might come out as far as where you would like to be, or what you're aspiring to. You know, that one just really wanted to come out on its own. I think since this is for you, that I want you, yeah, will you just take the deck there? Yeah, and you can just shuffle it for me for a minute. Okay, great. Okay, and then I'll take it back, and then I'm going to expand it out here, and you just pick the card that you want, and you hand it to me, okay? Okay, great. Okay, so what you pulled for where you would like to be, this is great. The King of Swords. The King of Swords. The King of Swords. And the key word here, keywords are strong mind, seeks truth, rationality, clarity, ethical, fair, wise advice, and smart leadership. And we know that kings are about maturity, responsibility, capable leadership, and structure, and that swords are again about mental activity. So that is interesting that you pulled these 2 sword cards, this one showing mental activity that is very limited and restricted and bound, and maybe these swords also make me think of rumination, because they're all facing in the same direction down into the ground, you know, one right after another. It's just kind of like a similar cycle, and this person is kind of surrounded by them. So this makes me think of ruminating. And then with the king, you can see the king just has his one sword that he is wielding. He is wielding his thoughts. He's having more control, more clarity around his thoughts. And I love the idea here of seeking the truth, you know, that you want to seek the truth about yourself, and the truth about who you are and what you have to give to the world. And I really like that. Capable, structure, you know, thinking about structure. So that might be a hint towards what you need to do to get to this place, is to maybe create some routines, create some boundaries, as this card was talking about, to help you get to that place where you want to be. So maybe thinking about, you know, the good routines and rituals and practices that you can bring into your life, the things that support you. Some of the other cards we pulled were talking about what activities really light you up and bring you to that place of feeling good and feeling clear. And okay, well that's a pretty straightforward message in this case, of wanting to move from this place of bounded, restricted thinking to this place of clarity and truth and a strong mind and wisdom. And you know, that goes along with the X the Owl card that we drew too, you know, of you seeking wisdom. Okay, so now let's see what further. Okay, I'm going to keep that one, because when one falls out like that, I have a tendency to keep it. But then I'll have you draw one as well for what do you need to do, or what could you focus on to help you get to this place of wisdom and clarity in your thinking. Yeah, shuffle those up a little bit. Shuffle those up. Yep, I'll give them a little bit of hoo too. And let's see what you got. Okay, for this one, you have, another court card. We have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands. You're very courtly getting all of these cards of strength. I think is very, very cool to see. And the Queen of Wands says strong and self-assured, charismatic, extroverted, independent, enthusiastic, and inspires others. And wands are about, it's interesting, your other two cards have been swords, which are about thoughts. And now this card is a wands card, which is about motivation and action and energy. So I think that, and then of course for queens, we have mature woman, cultivator, supportive, giving, and accessible. So I think that kind of tapping into this Queen of Wands energy, tapping into some motivation to do those things that make you feel good, allowing yourself to feel strong and self-assured, allowing yourself to maybe be a little bit more extroverted than you would usually be. And I really interpret that extroverted as allowing yourself to make connections with people, allowing yourself to find community and allowing yourself to find people you might be creative with or that you might share interests with as a way of learning about new things, since that has been another theme for everything we've talked about. That's really cool. And the one that just flew out on its own was the moon. And I think that's interesting. I love the artwork on the moon with these two dogs that are looking up at the moon. And I always think of that there's a little bit of duality there because the two dogs are on opposite sides of this path, and they're both looking up at the moon. They're at different angles, kind of trying to seek things from different places. And the card keywords here are hidden or buried things emerge, anxiety and fear, shadowy illusion, and deception or confusion. So I think these cards actually go really well together because I think in this process of you releasing your limiting thinking and moving into this King of Swords energy of confidence and wisdom and truth, you are going to have your path to getting there will have both of these things. It will have these moments where you feel strong and self-assured and where you feel like you're the queen. And then there will still be these moments where you feel anxiety. There will still be these moments where there are illusions, where those thoughts that were getting to you here in the Eight of Swords, those thoughts that were keeping you blindfolded and allowing you to not see the truth are not just going to go away all at once. They are going to still come up from time to time. And so I think the thing about this that is really encouraging is the idea of hidden things emerging. And I think in this case, what is emerging is your true voice and your true confidence, and that you will be able to balance these two things. You will be able to balance the anxieties that come up with moving towards this more strong, confident way of being. So, wow, I think that was actually a really cool spread. It doesn't always work out in such a logical way, but actually I shouldn't say that. I think I have done a really good job as I've been practicing at, no matter what the cards are, helping them to come out into a story that makes sense and can have some significance. So I like this story for you, my friend. I like this story of you moving away from restricted thinking, moving away from the self-limiting beliefs, which is maybe where you are right now, where you have been, to this King of Swords place, to this place of strong mind and truth and clarity and wisdom. And you will get there by balancing these energies, balancing the anxiety and the uncertainty that you have sometimes, and also allowing yourself to feel strong and self-assured, and allowing yourself a little bit of charisma and a little bit of enthusiasm, and allowing yourself to be inspired by others. And so there you go. I know, isn't that fun? I really love it. Sometimes I'll draw just one card and, think about that and kind of reflect on it. Sometimes I do little stories like that, but I think it's really fun. So how are you feeling, my friend? Yeah, that was really sweet of you to indulge me in that, to indulge me in allowing me to practice and read for you. But I just think it's a cool way that I can bring you a little bit of extra attention. So how are you feeling now? Do you think maybe you just want to have some time to chill and rest? Okay, well, I can hang out with you here for a while longer, and we can just relax and finish our tea. And if you want to look at any of the other decks, if you want to practice pulling any cards or anything, we can do that. I'm happy to stay as long as you'd like. And then when you're ready to take a little rest again, then I'll give you some space to do that. And you know that I am always willing to come over and be with you and spend time with you, because you're really important to me, and I want to make sure you're feeling good. Yeah, so you've got your teas that I brought you. Oh, and I almost forgot. I wasn't sure if you had a teapot for doing the loose teas, so I brought you 2 tea strainers. I brought you this one that's on a ball. That is a tea ball. Yeah, I feel like it's nice. It can hypnotize you. And it's got this cute little rose quartz heart on the end, so you can just put your tea in this and then plop it down into your teacup. Or I have this one, which is really cool, which is a heart. That's kind of a little clamp style one that you can just kind of stab your tea and tuck it in, and then put this down in your cup and pour your hot water on it. So you can have that. Yeah, I really like this one. It's really pretty. So I just wanted to make sure you were fully equipped. So I brought you these things too. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. You are really, really welcome, my friend. I am always glad to be here with you and make you feel better, so you can be in the best frame of mind that is possible for you, and that you can see all the possibility and all the beauty and the abundance that you have ahead of you, because I know that's the truth. I don't need anything else to tell me that, because that's the case for you all the time. All the time. All the time. Yeah, so how are you feeling? Do you think more tea? Okay, well, let's do that. Let's maybe go to the kitchen and put the kettle on for another round of tea, and then see what we want to do next. Okay, that sounds great. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it. And I love you. You're the best. And I'm glad that I'm here